So here's something that I struggle with is figuring out how to sort of communicate messages to other people without being judgmental in any sort of way and without sort of restricting where, restricting sort of lifestyle and things like that. And I want to explain this, right? So, a key thing to think about is you have to sort of live modestly, but not necessarily too modest to actually do very well. And the reason is that the more that you actually have resources that are available for both investment for the long term, right? So I recommend investing 15%, 10 to 20% of your total income into long run mutual funds. So that, but then also like other opportunities that come your way in terms of, just cool things to invest in, things that you really want to do, play around with. And then as well as, sort of charitable giving and things like that. You have to live fairly modestly on the income that you're actually bringing in. So, how do you actually communicate that without showing or being too, I don't want to be like everybody walking around with, hand-me-down clothes and things like that all the time. I don't want people to sort of think that you can't really enjoy your life in any sort of way. That's not at all what I'm saying and what I'm about. But the challenge with this is sort of what is the right balance to communicate to people. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Massac. I'm an associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people who help me out. I don't want to pay the favor forward to help you out as much as I possibly can. So that's the absolute challenge is, how do you convince people, not only convince people that is actually the way to go, but then so here's the thing that I'm really struggling with, is that once you actually have done okay, right? You've lived modestly for a long time and you're about to sort of do something that, might be construed as having a luxury good or being in, like all of that kind of stuff, the elites and, stuff like that. Say you wanted to go buy, a new car, you wanted to get a purse or whatever, all of that kind of stuff is luxury goods, and to what extent you should allow yourself to do that. I think as long as you're living modestly with what you're doing, I think you should just get used to doing whatever the heck that you want to do and be okay with that. But obviously, the challenge is I feel bad about sort of sending a signal to other people. This is something I've always struggled with, is I truly believe in living modestly. I think that is a great way to do it, but also buying things that are kind of like treats for yourself are actually really okay as well. And to sort of balance that, I don't know what the right recommendation is other than, so here's my thing. I think most people are not going to listen to me anyways. They are not going to care. So I'm going to keep telling my story to live modestly so that you can do really cool things like invest, or me with the Reciprocity Project, actually build this thing out and, pay for developers on the Reciprocity platform. If you want to look at reciprocity.com, it's a editing platform that I'm trying to build. It's actually more of a platform just to make our work easier. And so if you are always spending more than what you're making, or at what you're making, it's sort of things that are fun, you never get that opportunity. So it's a balance of thinking of a portfolio of what you're doing. So imagine you having a balance of funness, right? And you have a portfolio of funness. And your funness that you want is some immediate fun, some medium-term fun, and long-term fun. Like having fun. And then you have to sort of balance your portfolio so that you can maximize all of those things. And so that's the reason why I want people to live much more modestly, so that they can take advantage of longer term potential things that are there, opportunities that are there, just having fun in the long term. And it requires you to live modestly. But, you do get in this once you've done it for so long. So my wife and I, we've been doing this for 20 years at this point, living really modestly, that it feels weird to buy anything that's frivolous. So I think the key thing is to think of what you're doing in a portfolio, and then of the sort of portfolio of happiness. And then once you figure that out, what is appropriate for you, then feel okay with just buying whatever the hell that you want at that point, once you've sort of allocated your portfolio in a wise manner. The thing is, it's going to take you a long time by the time that it really does sort of straighten out. So my wife and I, it's 20 years. It just takes a long time by the time that you are financially okay to do different things, and you just have to wait it out. Just like everybody else. It takes a little bit of time to get there, but just keep waiting it out and keep upgrading your skills and working towards something. I think that's a key thing to think about. And then just keep going at it. That's it. Balance that portfolio of happiness over and over and over again, so that you can have a good amount of happiness early on, a nice amount in the sort of medium term, and a good amount in the long term as well. And if you do that, I think that's okay. And then as you're going about doing this, feel free. Don't feel guilty in any sort of way when you have to actually buy something, or you don't have to, or it's a want to buy something. I think that's a tricky thing once you get into this sort of thought process, and being okay with the fact that you're buying it and it's your sort of toy, and that's